Well, we have got a special guest this week. We got the real Strebber, Robert Streb, two-time PGA Tour winner. And Streb, what's going on today? How are you, buddy?
Not much, man. Just happy to talk to you and enjoying the weather here in Hawaii.
That's right. You're tournament champions. You're getting ready for one of the really big tournaments of the year. Strong Field. It's the biggest field they've had for some time. I think it's the biggest field ever. But for you, little Robert, we want to get straight to it with all the amateur listeners, the weekend golfers at home. We want to get better right now. And we have a club in your hand. You got a wedge in your hand. And tell us about chipping. We get to the golf course. We've got 30 minutes to practice. What do we want to do with chipping around the greens here?
Yeah, me, I'm probably a little more risky than the average chipper or what is recommended, but a few pretty good tips I've heard along the way. It's kind of you want to make sure you get the ball first, obviously, but kind of use your chest and your shoulders to move the club, hit the ball. I guess kind of like putting a little bit, and take some of the timing out of it, I guess. So you're trying to just make more of a rocking motion, make sure you get the ball clean. And then another one, like on those super tight little shots and you get up in the air. Matt Jones actually was giving this tip to my caddy, and he took the wedge, like the end of the grip, kind of halfway through your palm in your left hand, and grip it, and you take a few swings, and like the bounce kind of hits the bottom. You almost never fat it, and then you can kind of go into it with your regular grip, and then just not blade it like I just did. But the idea is to, it gets you down under the ball, but you don't thin it, you don't fat it. Like it kind of helps your mechanics, kind of frees you up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of being freed up, what is a good way to feel mentally as we're chipping? I mean, chipping's a tricky thing preparing for our rounds, but where do we want to feel mentally as we get ready to tee off there?
Yeah, you probably want to just have one or two thoughts or goals for the day. And the biggest thing sometimes is just to relax, like let your grip pressure ease up, ease your arms up. It's incredibly difficult to get good contact when you're tense.
Definitely is. Well, as it relates to chipping, what are some common mistakes you see that we as weekend golfers need to work on with our chipping?
Yeah, just probably a lot of moving parts, and same kind of thing. People are just they're uncomfortable with it, and then they get really tense, and the swing either gets really long or really short, and it just it makes it hard to hit the ball consistently. And if you can just, I guess, kind of relax and let the club move freely, I think it'll help a little bit.
You mentioned to have one or two swing thoughts for the day when you're playing around a golf with our buddies, but what about with chipping? What kind of thought do we need to have over the ball as we're chipping?
Yeah, it might be, just concentrating on a certain point of the ball, or just, maybe using your shoulders or your big muscles to move it. Just something really simple.
Simple is always best. Think long, think wrong, as they all say in golf. So you have a ball right there. You're about to chip. Take us through what your process is. Okay, let's pretend this is a third shot on a par 4. You missed the green. What are you thinking as you're about to hit that? And show us.
Yeah, so I guess this one's a little short-sighted going up the hill, but you're trying to find, a good swing length you want for the shot. Kind of sweep the grass, I guess, just for practice, because you're trying to get that good contact. And then for me, just basically a point where I want to land the ball, and kind of go from there. Not stand over it too long, not think about it too much. Just kind of pick that spot and go.
And when you say sweep the ground, like what's the contact need to feel like for us? What does that be for us?
You're just trying to clip the grass without taking a divot. I guess that's what I'm trying to do. I kind of pick the ball. So for me, I'm just trying to get just under the ball enough without taking a bunch of dirt.
Gotcha. Give us one more strike there at that ball, and let's see, what that. Take us through it as you hit it. Short side.
Not blade it this time. So yeah, just trying to get set up over it, and then not take too long, and knock it up there. little thin, but not too bad.
Love it. You were 34th right now in total, excuse me, in strokes gained putting. You're 24th in total putting on the PGA Tour. When it comes to putting, what can we do better as we practice?
Yeah, so this I had a bad few years putting, so I was trying to change a few things and just kind of borrowing some drills from people and things. And so the one that seems to be helping the most is basically just setting up a kind of like six tees, like two, two, and two. Basically making a gate and set without a whole lot of room for error and spend some time on a straight putt, just running the putter through there until it gets comfortable and, um, and then kind of move on from there. But it's kind of a good check to keep my stroke from getting loopy or choppy or stuff like that.
One thing Kevin Streelman has said that the last thought in his mind before as he's over a putt is great speed. He tells himself great speed. Are there any little kind of last moment things we should be telling ourselves to be positive?
Yeah, good speed makes more putts than good line. So yeah, so especially like the long putts, if you can get that speed right, it's very very helpful. But yeah, you always need good speed to match up with your line. But um, yeah, I don't know. I try to just, especially on those makeable ones, just kind of concentrate on either my starting point or the hole, or just kind of where you want the ball to go.
You made it to a playoff at Greenbrier with the wedge, putting with the wedge. So tell us, if we get to the point where our putter, we break it or do something, what is the best thing we can do to hit great putts with our wedge?
Yeah, that one's funny. It almost gets rid of your expectations, and you spend all your time trying to get the blade of the wedge to hit the middle of the ball, and yeah, it kind of takes a lot of the other stuff away. And sometimes people tend to putt better like that.
Yeah, and you were in a playoff at Greenbrier. I left my putter at home last week, and I had to do that very thing with the wedge. It took forever to get used to the green. It took me like 17 holes. I got to ask you this
Yeah.
though. Were you gonna add something?
Oh no, the long putts with it are really hard.
Just because it's anybody's guess, or
I think it's just really hard to get the wedge on the ball cleanly when you got to move it 40 or 50 feet.
yeah, that's a fair point. So let me ask you this: you get to the golf course for a round of golf. Your pre-tournament warm-up. How much time is it, and what does it look like for you, Robert?
Um, Sometimes I try to get out of the clubhouse 50 minutes to an hour before I tee off. Usually I will roll a few putts, just try to get the speed and stuff, just kind of get moving. And then I'll go hit a few chips, maybe for, I don't know, 8-10 minutes. And then go hit balls till I'm good and loose, and then roll putts for 5-8 minutes before I tee off and roll to the first tee.
Man, you got it dialed in already. Any
Yeah, it's a guesstimate, but yeah.
any specific drills on the range that you like to incorporate?
Um, Not too much on the day I'm playing. I usually just try to loosen up, and you kind of got to go with what you got.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. While we still have you there hitting shots, can you show us a practice swing and just tell us what we want to be doing with weight transfer and just an overall tip for us to have better mobility and turn in our swing?
Yeah, you might be talking to the wrong person about that one, but so yeah, for me, I had a few little adjustments. So when I turn, just trying to get my hips to move this way a little bit. You don't really want to straighten your leg, but it allows you to turn a little bit more. And then for me, that was keeping the club in front of my chest, creating more consistent contact. So for me, that's kind of been the big deal, is just getting that turn and keeping the club in front of me, so I don't have to time it so much at impact.
Mhm. And then in terms of consistency, like as you take another practice swing, like what else can we learn from you, Robert, in terms of just having a fluid motion, just not getting too wristy, with our takeaway? Like, how can we be better with our overall swing?
Uh, I don't know. The big thing for me, or I talk to my coach about, is trying to get these muscles to do the takeaway instead of your hands or your arms or whatever it might be. If you can kind of just use your body and your big muscles to turn, you can get to the top. And I guess the other big thing is not to be in a rush to hit it. Like, it's okay to pause for a second and then go, because it allows your body to catch up when you transfer your weight to the right, and then you can get everything synced up and then get back over to your left side.
That's helpful stuff. Hey, you never use a glove ever, Robert. So tell me what it is. What's the psychology behind that?
It was more just a feel thing as a kid. It felt funny having a glove on, so I just never really did it. I don't know if it's the wisest choice or not, but it's kind of the way I do it.
Man, I think of like baseball, like Mickey Tettleton and all these players from the '90s with just no gloves. I just love that.
Yeah.
Well, here, we'll wrap up here with some questions here, kind of one-on-one. You can grab
Yeah.
the camera and
Sure.
we can chat here as we wrap up.
Yeah. No problem.
But yeah, for you, like just getting that win at RSM, your second win, what did that mean to you for your career?
It was pretty big. I've been having some struggles the last few years, so just trying to, I don't know, just it was nice to get in the hunt and actually get the job done. I hadn't been in the hunt much either, so it was big. And then obviously, got a lot more golf to play now instead of having to go back to the Corn Ferry Finals or something.
Definitely. Do you mind just turning the camera to the side so we can see?
That way?
There, it's perfect. That way you can see more of your face.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. Here's a question for you. When we're off to a good start as golfers, as amateur golfers, and we're maybe 2 under through 6 holes, and this is the best start we've had in 5 years, how do we stay comfortable? How do we stay engaged so we don't psych ourselves out?
That is the $1 million question, isn't it? I guess the biggest thing, if you can do it, is to just keep playing golf hole by hole, shot by shot. Obviously, when you start, at least for me, you start trying to plot out where you're going to make your birdies, where you're going to do this, do that. It never pans out that way, and you end up screwing things up and getting mad. So, yeah, if you can just sit there and keep trucking along and go to the next hole, then you'll probably be all right.
Little things we can do because we're uncomfortable at that point, right? We're like, oh my gosh, I'm in the red numbers. I'm through 9 holes. How is this happening? Do we need to do things with breathing? Do we need to do things with just like staying hydrated? Like, are there little things that can help us too?
Hydration is probably helpful, but or maybe get that BAC just right, depending on what you're doing. But yeah, just I don't know. I guess maybe stick to your same old routine. Don't change anything. If you got a consistent routine, I think that's pretty helpful because you have some form of comfort. I mean, you're going to be a little uneasy, but at least that'll be familiar.
Yes, familiarity is huge, I think, in golf in general. We're on the last hole. Let's say we're about to play score our best round that we've had in years, right? What is the right mentality on the 18th hole as we go through it?
That is a good question. I mean, I guess, same thing when you're playing a golf tournament or whatever. You're just trying to focus on the shot, your routine, and your target, and you're trying to block everything else out if you can do it.
And what has helped you, like as you win the RSM Classic a couple times when it's mattered most? What has helped you to block it up?
Just trying to stay relaxed, maybe crack a joke with the caddy, and just try to keep everything as normal as possible and keep your mind from wandering.
Yes. Well, Steve Catlin, your caddy, how many years has it been? Is it 7 years now?
Oh, it's 8, I think. I'll be working on 9. He hadn't fired me yet, fortunately.
How helpful was it to have him there down the stretch there in your second win at RSM?
It was really helpful. I was pretty upset after the 16th hole, and he did a good job of just kind of keeping things moving, keeping things comfortable, and it all panned out there at the end.
Yeah. It was a great win for you. So I got to ask you this: when you're with Maggie, your wife at home, you got Catherine, your kids and stuff. What do you guys like to watch on Amazon Prime? What's a go-to Netflix or TV show for
Do we get to control the TV or are the kids controlling it?
you? That's the million-dollar question, Robert.
Yeah, I think favorite one I watched on Amazon might have been Yellowstone. I like that one.
Well, Kevin
Uh,
Costner.
yeah, I mean it might. I don't know. It's interesting. It's like the 1930s in present day. There's kind of no laws.
Well, yeah, I got to ask you this though. Music, you've got your ear pods in there. Like, what do you like to listen to during a tournament as you're getting ready, warmed up and stuff?
Um, Not too much. Just usually end up listening to country music or something. But every once in a while, I'll listen to some old hip hop or something just for fun.
Mm. You talk about, well, we mentioned country, and I think about where you're from. Grew up in Oklahoma, and of course, you spent a lot of time now outside of Kansas City. You're kind of in the Midwest. What is your favorite memory as a junior golfer?
Oh man, I don't know. Probably I ended up winning the AJGA tournament there on my home course. That was a pretty big deal for me. And then we won the state tournament my senior year and kind of messed up the school in Tulsa's big run in state tournaments, and that was pretty neat too.
What, just to get in there and get your own hardware, or what?
Yeah, they'd won like the last 7 or 8 or something, so it was nice to mess that up a little bit.
I love it. You have so many friendships we make from the game, right? Whether it's from junior golf, amateur golf, pro golf. Who comes to mind, or is there a couple of good friendships from golf?
Um, Probably. I mean, I got a few buddies out here and stuff, and then some of my best friends from my college team. We still talk all the time, and there's 5 or 6 of us that are pretty good buddies.
Kansas State. How much do you follow their basketball and other sports for them?
I follow it pretty close. I'm not a diehard by any stretch. I don't know the rosters in and out, but they're having a bit of a tough year.
Hmm. You're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I want to say, right?
So I am a Steelers fan.
What's going on with that?
The kid across the street liked them when I was about 6 years old. So it's like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll do that. But I spend a lot of time watching the Chiefs now.
And you live near Kansas City, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Live in the suburbs. I'm on an island. Trust me.
Dude, you have possibly the greatest quarterback we've ever seen in our lifetime, Patrick Mahomes, on that team. He plays 20 miles from your house. How is it you're not cheering for the guy?
I cheer for him when he's not playing my Steelers. But I'm still a Steelers fan somehow.
So if we get to a Super Bowl, right? And well, not Super Bowl, I guess it would be an AFC Championship game. Like, how is that going to feel for you?
Still got to cheer for my Steelers. It'll be difficult. I'll probably be banished to the basement or something to watch by myself. But yeah, I haven't jumped ship yet.
So Maggie's on the other side. Your wife, what's going on?
Oh yeah, diehard Chiefs fan.
So how do you survive? What is it like watching these games?
Oh yeah, I sit and watch the Chiefs all the time, but there was a little stretch there where my Steelers were getting the better end of it, and I rubbed it in pretty good.
Yes.
I think that might be gone for a while.
What about your kids? Are they taking off on one side or the other?
Oh yeah, Chiefs, and my son is all about Patrick Mahomes, so they're all over it.
This is demoralizing, real Strapper. You got to get these kids together.
Oh no, they're all over the Chiefs. I think it would be about impossible to get them to root for somebody else because that's all that's on TV or around town anyway.
Well, how fired up are you for Big Ben making this playoff run coming up here?
They surprised me early on. The last few weeks have been a struggle, so we'll curious to see what they do in the playoffs. I obviously had a bunch of injuries and whatnot, so hopefully they can figure out how to make a run. I'm not sure who's going to get past the Chiefs. We'll see.
Mm. I got to ask you this. I remember we met in 2015, the U.S. Open. A month later, we were both out at St. Andrews. One of my favorite memories of all time covering that Open Championship. You were in the hunt at St. Andrews. What does that feel like as a pro?
That was interesting. I'd never really been in the hunt in a big tournament like that, and I mean, not that I hadn't played well elsewhere, but I hadn't been in the hunt in a major, and it's a little different. But I thought St. Andrews was just a really cool place and really neat experience. I'd never been over there, and the golf course was awesome. You could miss it left everywhere.
Which is right up your alley, right?
That's right up my alley.
Well, did you get to the Dunvegan Hotel there, the famous hotel?
I did. I finally got there on, I don't know, it must have been Monday after we got done. Stopped in and had a couple beers.
Wow, Monday finish, all that wind. I mean, what an experience, the home of golf. Have you been back since?
Mm, no, I've not to St. Andrews. Went to a couple others, but not that one. I'd like to go back at some point, especially when I can stop off at the pub when I get done for a couple beers.
Love it. What's the beer choice?
Over there, oh, I don't know. I probably just ask what's good and say thanks. That works.
Oh, the best local. Hey, so we're playing links golf. A lot of us get to Ireland or Scotland. What is the key to playing good links golf?
Good question. I think some of it's just kind of accepting where the ball goes. It's going to take some funny bounces and yeah, you kind of get to use your imagination, do some different stuff. And I think if you're all right with it, it helps a lot. If you get frustrated with it, it's not going to be very fun for you.
You know what? I'm looking at the calendar. I'm looking ahead of your schedule. You're going to be back at Augusta again. How much are you looking forward to that?
Should be a lot of fun. Hopefully my results are a little better this time. Be nice to play a weekend around there, but just trying to, yeah, kind of take it as it goes and not build it up too much and have a little bit of fun.
Where's the best part of that property from your memory here?
If they allow fans, I'm really looking forward to the par three with the kids. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, always a great moment for any of the
Um,
family to spend out there. Dude, Robert, it's been a lot of fun hanging out again, and we'll reconnect, I'm sure, later this season.
yeah, sounds great. Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Hey, all the best to you this week. Thanks again.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.